There are rare points in life when the universe no longer communicates through quiet intuition, but announces its presence with undeniable force, and you have reached one of those extraordinary thresholds. The day of July 18th is far more than a date passing across the calendar. It represents a profound turning point, a break within the invisible framework that has silently supported the direction of your life until now. You did not arrive at this message by accident, nor was your attention captured through chance alone. Something far older than reason guided you here. A deeper intelligence within your spirit recognized that a powerful shift was approaching before your conscious mind could even find words to describe what it was sensing. If you have been carrying an unusual feeling that something significant is drawing closer, if your heart has been responding to an urgency that your thoughts cannot fully explain, then pay close attention, because what you are experiencing is not coincidence. It is the unmistakable sign that your inner awareness has already begun responding to a larger movement. Moments like these never affect only a single area of life. When the universe starts repositioning your path, every layer of your reality begins adjusting with it. Your perspective changes. Your choices begin to evolve. Even the way you relate to success, opportunity, and abundance starts transforming from the inside out. That is exactly why something meaningful has appeared before you at this precise moment. A newly released audiobook called Train Your Brain to Make More Money has entered your path, not simply as another resource, but as an instrument capable of helping your thinking move into harmony with the expanding energy now surrounding your life. Its purpose reaches beyond information. It offers an opportunity to reshape long-established patterns of thought, so your mind becomes capable of receiving the opportunities that this extraordinary cosmic alignment is preparing to reveal. A shift in destiny means very little if your beliefs remain attached to limitations that belong to an earlier version of yourself. If these words already feel as though they are touching something hidden beneath the surface of your awareness, honor that feeling instead of dismissing it. You will find a link to the audiobook waiting in the description, and also within the first pinned comment. Do not overlook what appears simple, because history repeatedly shows that the greatest turning points often arrive without dramatic announcements, while quietly carrying the potential to transform an entire future. Before we continue exploring what is unfolding, if you already sense this powerful current moving through your life, take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. Do not treat those actions as empty habits. Let them become a conscious declaration that you are choosing to stand in alignment with the transformation already unfolding around you, because your purpose is not to remain a passive observer. Your purpose is to awaken to what has been waiting for you all along. What is developing on July 18th extends far beyond ordinary astrology and cannot be understood through simplified forecasts or shallow interpretations. This is an exceptionally rare convergence where planetary forces that usually express themselves independently begin resonating together, producing a unified vibration powerful enough to influence the structure of reality itself. The energy surrounding this alignment is neither vague nor symbolic. It carries extraordinary precision, clear intention, and the capacity to produce deep internal transformation. Long before this exact day arrived, many people had already begun sensing its approach through rising emotional intensity, unexplained anticipation, persistent inattention, or the unmistakable impression that life was preparing to move in a direction beyond personal control. Those sensations should not automatically be mistaken for fear. More often they represent recognition. Something within your soul understands this frequency because, on a level beyond ordinary memory, it has encountered similar moments before, perhaps across experiences that exist outside conscious awareness. The universe has not hurried this alignment into existence. Every movement has unfolded according to perfect timing, carefully arranged so that when this moment finally arrived, your life would already be positioned to receive everything connected to it. The emotional waves you have experienced, the restless nights, the unexpected moments of insight, the sudden clarity appearing without obvious explanation, none of these have been meaningless interruptions. They are deliberate signals, gradually awakening your awareness before the full force of this alignment becomes visible. Events carrying this level of significance never emerge without warning. Their influence travels through time in advance, reaching individuals who are prepared to recognize the vibration long before its greatest impact is felt. That is why this message has reached you today. That is why it feels strangely familiar, even if you cannot logically explain why. Your role in this moment does not depend upon having every answer or possessing complete certainty. It depends upon your willingness to remain open. There is something within you that refuses to settle for appearances alone and continues searching beneath the surface for deeper truth, even when the path ahead cannot yet be fully seen. Remember this clearly. The transformation connected with July 18th did not suddenly begin on that date. It represents the visible culmination of changes that have already been unfolding throughout your life for some time. This current has been moving quietly through your experiences, influencing circumstances that may have appeared confusing, challenging, or unexpectedly disruptive. Take a moment to reflect upon the past several weeks, or even the past several months. Which parts of your life changed without warning? What relationships, beliefs, opportunities, or routines unexpectedly shifted or dissolved? Which truths continued demanding your attention until avoiding them became impossible? This is the way the universe prepares those who are ready for genuine evolution. It does not simply recommend change through gentle suggestions. Instead, it gradually creates circumstances where transformation becomes unavoidable. It removes what has completed its purpose, not as punishment but as preparation, because the future waiting beyond this alignment cannot exist alongside illusions that have already outlived their purpose. The clearing always begins before the renewal becomes visible. Perhaps you have already sensed that invisible pressure building beneath the ordinary rhythm of daily life. It may not have a clear external source, yet it refuses to disappear. Conversations may suddenly carry greater emotional weight. Decisions that once seemed distant now demand immediate attention. Even silence itself may feel unusually powerful, as though something unseen is gathering strength just beyond the edge of your awareness, preparing to reveal why every experience leading to this moment has unfolded exactly as it needed to. What you are experiencing is not the result of random circumstances colliding. It is the result of concentration. Before the universe allows anything to expand into its fullest expression, it first gathers everything into a single point of extraordinary intensity. That is exactly where you stand now. You have entered that powerful interval where life seems to narrow instead of widen, where every emotion feels stronger, every realization becomes sharper, and every unanswered question demands your attention. Although this phase may feel uncomfortable, it carries profound intention. Pressure has never existed solely to create discomfort. Pressure is the force that reveals strength hidden beneath the surface. Nothing enduring is born without first passing through refinement. The version of yourself that is preparing to emerge cannot be created through comfort alone. It requires moments that challenge your certainty, stretch your resilience, and teach you how to hold greater levels of wisdom and responsibility. If life feels heavier than usual, do not mistake that feeling for failure. You are not being buried beneath circumstances. You are being carefully reshaped into someone capable of carrying the greater energy that is preparing to enter your experience. As this process unfolds, you may already notice that certain parts of your life no longer fit as naturally as they once did. Habits that once seemed effortless may suddenly feel strangely disconnected from who you are becoming. Relationships that appeared secure may begin exposing truths that had quietly remained hidden beneath the surface for far too long. Even your own convictions may start evolving, creating moments where uncertainty and freedom seem to exist side by side. Although this transition can feel unsettling, it should not be confused with destruction. It is the beginning of revelation. The alignment arriving on July 18th does not strengthen illusions or allow them to continue unnoticed. Instead, it illuminates them so completely that pretending not to see them becomes impossible. Once clarity arrives, there is no returning to comfortable denial. If discomfort rises within you, recognize what it truly represents. It is not evidence that something has gone wrong. It is evidence that something authentic is replacing what was never fully real. The universe is not removing blessings from your path. It is revealing what never genuinely belonged there in the first place. Right now you stand between two identities. One belongs to the person you have always believed yourself to be. The other belongs to the individual slowly emerging through every challenge, every realization, and every moment of awakening. Space between old and new are never ordinary. They carry tremendous spiritual significance because they hold the possibility of complete transformation. This is not the time to rush impulsively toward the future, nor is it the moment to retreat into familiar patterns simply because they feel safe. Instead, allow yourself to fully recognize the importance of where you stand. Life itself appears to have paused for just long enough to present you with a meaningful decision. Will you continue holding tightly to what feels comfortable, even when it no longer supports your growth? Or will you trust the unseen guidance inviting you into unfamiliar territory with the confidence that something greater is already waiting beyond your current horizon? Make no mistake about what is happening. This extends far beyond ordinary change. It is a genuine calling, and not everyone will recognize it when it arrives. Yet something within you responded immediately, and that silent response is exactly why you are listening now. There are seasons when life appears predictable, unfolding along a straight path where each day resembles the one before it. Then there are extraordinary periods like this when the direction of your journey begins bending in unexpected ways, creating possibilities that previously seemed impossible to imagine. This is not meaningless disruption, it is deliberate recalibration. The universe is not making random adjustments, it is responding to a deeper readiness that has quietly developed within you over time. Roads that once seemed obvious may suddenly lose their certainty, while opportunities you never considered begin drawing your attention with surprising strength. This happens because the original direction of your life, the one shaped by expectation, conditioning, and simple survival, is undergoing revision. It is not being erased. It is being elevated into closer alignment with the person you were always meant to become, rather than the version others expected you to remain. During this process, it may genuinely appear that everything is falling apart. Structures that once provided security may no longer feel dependable. Plans you carefully built may suddenly change course. People who once seemed permanent may gradually drift away. Opportunities may disappear almost as quickly as they arrive. Yet beneath every apparent ending lies a deeper truth. Collapse has never been the opposite of growth. In many cases, it is growth unfolding in its most necessary form. Before anything lasting can rise with true stability, everything unable to support that future must naturally fall away. The alignment to July 18th accelerates this purification by exposing illusions that have remained hidden until now, bringing them into unmistakable light where they can no longer continue shaping your reality. None of this is designed to destroy your spirit. It is designed to release you from what no longer belongs in your future. What carries genuine truth will remain standing. Everything else will dissolve regardless of how tightly you attempt to preserve it. Beneath all external events, another process has quietly been unfolding within you for much longer than you may realize. There has always been a quiet inner voice speaking beneath the noise of daily life, although doubt, fear, and outside opinions often made it difficult to hear. Now that voice is becoming stronger. You may recognize it through sudden moments of certainty, unexpected intuitive understanding, or powerful inner knowing that arrives without logical explanation. This is your internal guidance, awakening to a higher level of awareness. The cosmic alignment is influencing far more than circumstances in the external world. It is unlocking dormant wisdom already present within you. Once this deeper awareness begins operating consistently, returning to unconscious patterns becomes almost impossible. You start recognizing meaningful patterns where you once believed only randomness existed. You begin sensing truth where confusion previously dominated your thinking. Most importantly, you develop a level of trust in your own inner wisdom that may have seemed impossible only a short time ago. Perhaps you have also noticed that your experience of time itself feels different. Certain moments seem to stretch endlessly while entire days disappear before you fully realize they have passed. This sensation is not simply imagination. The alignment, arriving on July 18th, is influencing the energetic experience of time, creating a rhythm that can feel simultaneously exhilarating and deeply disorienting. Powerful realizations may arrive in an instant, followed by extended periods of reflection that carry unusual emotional depth. This happens because your awareness is expanding beyond ordinary perception. Instead of moving only through linear time, you are beginning to experience overlapping layers of past, present, and future, allowing insights to emerge that once remained inaccessible. You are not losing your relationship with time. You are developing a new one. Throughout your life, the universe has continuously communicated with you, yet now those messages are becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss. You may notice repeating numbers appearing more frequently, meaningful symbols crossing your path, conversations arriving at exactly the right moment, or unexpected encounters carrying an almost impossible level of precision. These experiences are not meaningless accidents. They are confirmations that your connection with unseen guidance has become stronger. The alignment is amplifying your ability to recognize what has always been present beneath the surface of ordinary life. Yet one truth remains essential. These signs can only guide you to the extent that you are willing to believe they deserve your attention. Doubt clouds perception. Fear twists meaning. Awareness restores clarity. The more intentionally you observe what unfolds around you, the more unmistakable those messages become until eventually you recognize that nothing is occurring without purpose. Every event belongs to a much larger design, unfolding with remarkable precision, even if the complete picture remains hidden for now. There is a reason certain chapters of your life are shifting at this exact time. Even when those changes appear confusing, they are repositioning you for something that extends far beyond temporary improvement. The future now approaching requires a different version of you to step forward. That is why these adjustments may feel so powerful. The life preparing to emerge cannot rest upon the same foundation that supported the life you are gradually leaving behind. Fresh opportunities, meaningful relationships, and deeper understanding are already moving into alignment, yet they require room to enter. That space is being created now. What appears to be loss is actually preparation. What feels like uncertainty is actually alignment quietly taking shape beneath the surface. You are not moving backward. You are being carefully positioned for what comes next. Every sign you have noticed, every moment of pressure you have carried, every growing awareness inside your heart has been leading toward this exact point. The doorway where you have waited is no longer remaining closed. It is beginning to open before you. You may already sense a gentle but undeniable invitation encouraging you to move, to choose, and to take the next step, even if the destination remains invisible. This is the moment when possibility begins transforming into deliberate action. The pressure surrounding your life is not meaningless, and it is certainly not accidental. What you are living through is a sacred phase of compression, because the universe always gathers energy inward before allowing it to unfold outward. Expansion never appears without preparation. Before a seed reaches toward the light, it must first be surrounded by darkness beneath the soil. That is where you are standing now. Everything around you seems to be tightening, concentrating, and becoming more intense with each passing day. While this process may leave you feeling emotionally exhausted or mentally uncertain, do not mistake discomfort for failure. Every meaningful transformation demands refinement before it can reveal its true form. The next chapter of your journey requires a version of you with greater wisdom, stronger emotional resilience, and a clearer understanding of your own purpose. Those qualities cannot simply be handed to you. They are developed during seasons exactly like this one. If life feels heavier than it once did, understand that you are not carrying an impossible burden. You are being strengthened so you can eventually carry the greater opportunities, responsibilities, and blessings that are moving toward you. As this refinement continues, you may already be watching familiar parts of your world begin to change in unexpected ways. Routines that once brought comfort may suddenly feel disconnected from your spirit. Long-standing patterns may no longer fit the person you are becoming. Relationships that appeared dependable may begin revealing tensions, hidden truths, or emotional realities that have quietly existed beneath the surface all along. Even your own beliefs may begin evolving, leaving you suspended between uncertainty and liberation at the same time. Although this experience can feel deeply unsettling, it is important to recognize what is actually happening. This is not the destruction of your life. It is the unveiling of truth. The extraordinary alignment of July 18th does not strengthen illusions or allow false foundations to remain hidden. Instead, it shines directly upon them until they become impossible to deny. Once genuine clarity arrives, you cannot return to seeing the world through the same limited perspective. If you find yourself feeling uncomfortable, remember that this discomfort is not announcing that something has gone wrong. It is announcing that something authentic is finally replacing what was built upon illusion. The universe is not removing what truly belongs to you. It is revealing everything that was never fully aligned with your highest path from the very beginning. At this exact point in your journey, You stand between two versions of your own identity. One belongs to the person you have always known, shaped by past experiences, expectations, and familiar habits. The other belongs to the individual, quietly emerging through every challenge you have endured. Spaces like this are never ordinary. They are sacred passages filled with possibility, awakening, and profound transformation. This is not the moment to charge recklessly into the future, nor is it the time to retreat into old comforts simply because they feel familiar. Instead, allow yourself to become fully present with the significance of where you are standing. Life itself seems to have slowed just enough to place an important decision before you. Will you continue clinging to what feels safe even when it no longer supports your evolution? Or will you trust the unseen guidance inviting you beyond everything you have previously known? Understand that this is far more than another season of change. It is a calling, and not everyone possesses the openness to hear it. Yet you heard it, and that quiet recognition is precisely why these words have reached you today. There are seasons when life follows a predictable rhythm, moving steadily along a path that feels familiar and understandable. Then there are extraordinary moments when everything begins shifting direction without warning. The road bends unexpectedly. Priorities rearrange themselves. Circumstances refuse to follow the plans you carefully created. This is not meaningless chaos interrupting your progress. It is a careful recalibration taking place beneath the surface. The universe is not responding impulsively. It is answering something much deeper within you that has finally become ready for the next stage of growth. Roads that once appeared certain may suddenly feel unstable. Possibilities you never imagined may quietly begin calling your attention. This happens because the life designed around expectation, conditioning, and simple survival is being rewritten. It is not disappearing. It is being elevated toward a future that reflects who you were always created to become, rather than the identity the world expected you to maintain. During this process, it may genuinely appear as though everything important is falling apart. Structures that once gave you confidence may no longer provide the same sense of security. Carefully prepared plans may change direction unexpectedly. Certain people may slowly move away from your life, while opportunities may vanish almost as quickly as they arrived. Yet beneath every apparent ending exists an essential truth. Growth has never existed without some form of collapse. Before something genuine can rise, everything unable to support it must first be released. The alignment on July 18th intensifies this natural process by bringing hidden illusions into full visibility, leaving them without anywhere left to hide. Their influence cannot survive once truth has been fully revealed. This is not happening because the universe intends to weaken you. It is happening because your freedom requires the removal of everything false. What carries lasting truth will remain beside you. Everything else will naturally dissolve, regardless of how desperately you attempt to preserve it. Throughout this entire journey, another transformation has quietly been taking place within your own heart. There has always been a subtle inner voice guiding you. Although fear, uncertainty, and the constant noise of the outside world often made it difficult to hear, now that voice is becoming stronger than ever before. You may experience it through sudden moments of unmistakable clarity, powerful intuitive impressions, or a deep certainty that arrives without logical explanation. Your inner guidance is awakening to an entirely new level. This cosmic alignment is influencing much more than external circumstances. It is unlocking dormant wisdom that has always existed within you. Once this deeper awareness fully awakens, returning to unconscious habits becomes almost impossible. You begin recognizing meaningful patterns where randomness once seemed to exist. You begin sensing truth where confusion once dominated your thinking. Most importantly, you begin trusting your own inner wisdom with a confidence you may never have experienced before. Perhaps you have also noticed something unusual about your relationship with time itself. Certain moments seem to stretch endlessly, while entire days disappear before you fully realize they have passed. This sensation is not simply the product of imagination. The energetic influence surrounding July 18th is altering your perception of time, creating an experience that feels both exhilarating and deeply disorienting. Powerful realizations may arrive without warning, followed by periods of reflection that seem richer and more profound than anything you have previously experienced. This happens because you are no longer moving only through ordinary time. Your awareness is expanding through multiple layers of perception. Past experiences, present understanding, and future possibilities begin overlapping in subtle ways, allowing insights to emerge that previously remained beyond your reach. You are not losing your sense of control. You are entering an entirely different relationship with time itself. The universe has always communicated with you, yet its messages are becoming increasingly impossible to overlook. You may begin recognizing repeating numbers more often. Symbols may appear with surprising consistency. Conversations may arrive at exactly the moment you need them. Unexpected encounters may carry an almost impossible sense of precision. None of these experiences are meaningless accidents. They are confirmations that your connection with unseen guidance is becoming stronger. This alignment is amplifying your ability to recognize the direction that has quietly surrounded you all along. Yet one truth remains essential. These signs will only lead you as far as your willingness to trust them. Doubt obscures their meaning. Fear distorts their purpose. Awareness brings them into focus. The more consciously you observe what unfolds around you, the more obvious those messages become, until eventually you recognize that nothing in your life has ever been random. Every event belongs to a greater design, unfolding with remarkable precision, even when you cannot yet see its complete pattern. There is purpose behind every shift taking place within your life at this very moment. Even when the reasons remain hidden, you are being repositioned for something far greater than temporary improvement. The future approaching you requires a different version of yourself to step forward with confidence. That is why these changes may feel so intense. The life preparing to emerge cannot rest upon the same foundation that supported the life you are gradually leaving behind. New possibilities, meaningful relationships, and deeper understanding are already moving into alignment, yet they require room to enter your experience. That space is being created now. What appears to be loss is actually preparation. What feels like uncertainty is actually alignment quietly unfolding beneath the surface. You are not being pushed backward. You are being strategically positioned for what comes next. Every moment of pressure you have endured, every sign you have noticed, every quiet awakening inside your heart has been guiding you toward this exact threshold. The doorway where you have waited is no longer simply a place between endings and beginnings. It is beginning to open before you. You may already feel a quiet but undeniable invitation, encouraging you to move forward, make a meaningful decision, and take the next step even before every answer becomes visible. This is the moment when possibility begins transforming into reality through action. Even when the full meaning is not immediately clear, you are being guided, not controlled, supported, not forced. And the more you trust this unseen movement, the more seamlessly your path begins to reveal itself. As powerful as this moment is, it is natural for fear to rise alongside it. Fear of the unknown, fear of change, fear of losing what is familiar. Even if what is familiar no longer serves you, this fear is not a sign that you should stop. It is a sign that you are standing at the edge of growth. The mind seeks stability, predictability, and control, but transformation requires surrender, trust, and movement into spaces that cannot be fully understood in advance. The fear you feel is not an obstacle, it is a threshold guardian, testing your readiness to move forward. And the truth is, you do not need to eliminate the fear in order to take the next step. You only need to recognize that it is not the voice of your highest self. It is the echo of your past, trying to keep you where it is comfortable. Everything you have experienced up to this point, the pressure, the clarity, the emotional shifts, the signs, has been leading you toward a single moment of action. Not a dramatic leap, not a sudden overhaul of your entire life, but a step, a conscious, intentional movement forward into something that feels uncertain yet deeply aligned. This is how transformation begins. Not with certainty, but with willingness. The willingness to trust what you feel, even when you cannot fully explain it. The willingness to move forward, even when the outcome is not guaranteed. The threshold is no longer just opening, it is inviting you. And as you stand here, feeling the weight and the possibility of this moment, understand this. You do not need to have everything figured out. You only need to take the first step. This is the moment the universe has been building toward the exact point where everything you have felt, sensed, and endured begins to converge into a single energetic opening. The portal is no longer forming. It is open, and when a portal like this opens, it does not wait. It does not pause for hesitation or uncertainty. It simply exists, radiating possibility, demanding presence. You may feel it as an intensity in your chest, a pull in your intuition, or a sudden awareness that something irreversible is unfolding. This is not imagination. This is the crossing point between timelines, between identities, between versions of your life. You are not standing outside of it anymore. You are standing within it. Within this opening lies a choice, and it is not a small one. It is not about a single decision or a simple direction. It is about who you are willing to become. The universe has aligned the conditions, cleared the path, and brought you to this precise moment. But it will not choose for you. That is not how this works. True transformation requires participation. It requires your consent, your willingness to step forward even when certainty is not guaranteed. You may feel the weight of this choice pressing on you, the awareness that what you decide now will ripple outward into every area of your life. And that awareness is not meant to paralyze you. It is meant to awaken you, because when you choose consciously, you step into alignment with forces far greater than yourself. There are multiple versions of your life that exist as possibilities, and right now, those timelines are closer than they have ever been. One path leads back into familiarity, into patterns that feel safe, but ultimately limit your expansion. The other leads forward into something unknown, something that requires courage, trust, and a deeper level of self-awareness. This is the moment where those timelines begin to separate. The alignment of July 18th amplifies this divergence, making it impossible to walk both paths at once. You'll feel it in your decisions, in your reactions, in the subtle ways your reality begins to shift, depending on what you choose. This is not about right or wrong. It is about alignment, and only one path is aligned with the version of you that is trying to emerge. As you stand within this portal, something within you begins to activate. Something that has always been there but has remained dormant until now. It is not loud or dramatic at first. It is subtle, steady, and undeniable. A sense of inner strength that does not rely on external validation. A clarity that does not require constant reassurance. This is your power, not the kind that controls others, but the kind that aligns you with your highest path. The alignment is not giving you something new. It is revealing what has always been yours. And as this activation deepens, you may begin to realize that you are not as uncertain or unprepared as you once believed. You are capable, you are ready, and you have been for longer than you think. With this activation comes a release, a shedding of the identity you have carried for so long. The roles, the labels, the expectations, both those placed on you by others and those you placed on yourself, begin to fall away. This can feel disorienting, as if you're losing parts of yourself that once felt essential. But what you are actually losing are the layers that were never truly you. The alignment is stripping away what is false so that what is real can finally emerge. This is not a loss of identity, it is a return to authenticity. And while that process may feel uncomfortable, even unsettling at times, it is also liberating because for the first time, you are no longer trying to fit into a version of yourself that no longer aligns with who you are becoming. At this point, the energy is no longer subtle. It is present, undeniable, and impossible to push aside. You may feel it in your thoughts, in your body, in the way your environment seems to respond to you differently. There is a heightened awareness, a sensitivity to what feels right and what does not. This is not overwhelming. It is clarity. The alignment has amplified your perception, allowing you to see and feel with greater precision. What once felt uncertain now feels obvious. What once felt confusing now feels clear. And this clarity brings with it a responsibility, the responsibility to act in alignment with what you now know. Because once awareness is reached, it cannot be undone. You cannot return to ignorance. Even if you try, everything has led to this. The pressure, the clearing, the awakening, the activation. And now you feel it, the final pull. It is not forceful, but it is persistent. A quiet yet powerful urging to move forward, to step fully into what is opening before you. This is the moment where hesitation begins to fade, where doubt loses its grip, and where action becomes inevitable. You may not have all the answers, you may not see the full path ahead, but you feel the direction. And that is enough, because the universe does not reveal everything at once. It reveals just enough for you to take the next step. And as you stand here feeling this pull, understand that this is not the end of something. This is the beginning of everything. This is the moment where everything shifts from potential into embodiment, where the energy you have been feeling begins to anchor itself into your lived reality. The crossing is not dramatic in appearance, but it is profound in effect. It happens in the quiet decision to trust yourself, in the subtle release of what no longer aligns, in the willingness to move forward without needing every answer in advance. You may not feel fireworks or hear some external signal confirming that you have crossed, but you will know. There will be a calm certainty, a grounded awareness that something within you has locked into place. This is how true transformation occurs, not as a spectacle, but as a deep internal shift that changes everything from the inside out. You are no longer standing at the threshold. You have stepped through it.